Buddy, we're going to finish the Bhagavad-gita here. We finished in 8 classes, we finished 9 chapters. And then in one class, we did 4 chapters. And now in one hour class, we're supposed to do 5 chapters. So, and maybe we'll go a little bit over time, but we make sure that you have plenty of time to get to Maharaj's class tonight. Yeah, that's what we've all been waiting for. Zita, I'm happy to see you here.
Yes, I'm also here.
You're still here.
Krishna, you still here?
Yes, very good.
Tomorrow morning.
Okay, good. So let's get right into it. We read through chapter 13. And as I mentioned, I'm going to mention again, and this is a phrase that might be helpful for you. But this metaphysical reality is being spoken about when we talk about jnana. And again, you could summarize that metaphysical reality is that there's a supreme being from whom which he has different energies, including the material energy and another spiritual energy in the form of the jivas. That this material energy is considered a lesser energy in the sense that it's not conscious, and its nature is that it's constantly changing, where the other two are changeless. The jiva, the soul, it has the potential, the propensity to be covered by material energy and lose touch with its own nature. But if it turns back and reconnects with its origin, then it can again recover its nature. And that's it in a nutshell, right? That's the metaphysical reality. How do we relate to that? Are we able to accept that? Or do we rebel against that? Do we resist it? That'll become an important question, particularly the 16th chapter is about people that resist that metaphysical reality, the divine and demoniac natures, right? Or it's going to say some people are comfortable with that metaphysical reality, and some people are very uncomfortable and resist that metaphysical reality. But the point is can we harmonize ourselves with that metaphysical reality? Can we build our lives in such a way where we're not fighting against it, but that we're actually cooperating with it? And if we can, we'll be very happy. And if we keep resisting it, then we keep suffering. And it's as simple as that, So Arjuna was resisting it. Krishna said, no, don't resist it. Work with it. And that 11th chapter vision was kind of like a really graphic way of seeing, don't you see what's going to happen? Everyone's going to die here. In one sense, you're thinking you're the cause of everything, but you're not really not. Really what you're the cause of is whether or not you cooperate with the metaphysical reality or not, whether or not you get with the game plan, or whether you keep resisting it. And what's the word we use when we say, okay, now I'm going to work with in harmony with the metaphysical reality? What do we call that? I'm going to stop resisting it and I'm going to start to work. Surrender. That's called surrender, right? I'm going to stop resisting. I see the metaphysical reality. I see the futility in fighting against it. And hopefully, I also see how incredibly beautiful and wonderful and sweet and perfect cooperating with the metaphysical reality. It was crazy for me not to cooperate with it. And now I want to cooperate with it. So these last 6 chapters, there's going to be a lot of discussion laying out that metaphysical reality. 13th chapter laid out this part of the metaphysical reality in a lot of detail, the Paramatma. We heard a lot about the Paramatma and how one can reconnect with that Paramatma and the vision that one gets when they reconnect with that Paramatma. Now we're going to move down to here for the 14th chapter, and that's going to be largely about the 3 modes of material nature, right? That this right here, the matter, could we pull up this one right here, please? He's going to say, let's look into this a bit and understand the material nature, understand a bit more about it. And this is crucial information. I'm just going to go through this quickly, the 14th chapter. But the main theme is absolutely these 3 modes of material nature. It's saying that just like these RGB color mixing screens, video screens, that you have thousands and thousands of pixels, and each pixel is either red, green, or blue. So you have only three colors that are being used here at all. But according to how they're blended, they can create all the colors in all different forms. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
There's just three, red, green, and blue, but unlimited colors and images are created by the way that they blend, the way that they mix. So Krishna is saying that there are three modes of material nature, sattva, rajas, and tamas, and the entire world, all the different shapes and forms and all of that are created by a blend of these three. Okay? Interesting idea, right? Interesting aspect of the metaphysical reality that we're moving around in. But now comes the more, crucial or really relevant information about that. That's interesting, but how does it affect me? And here's the thing is that every object, it might be a tree, it might be another person, it might be a house, a mountain, an elephant, or anything else. Every object within this realm is composed of a blend of the three, but within that object, one of the three dominates. And the influence of that particular mode, it radiates from that object. And each one has its own influence. The influence of the sattva guna, the mode of goodness, is when you enter into its influence, it leads one towards satisfaction, let's say contentment, and a more peaceful, settled mind, lucid mind, like this. And if you enter into the realm of the mode of passion, the rajaguna, is the exact opposite, the opposite of contentment. One feels, I don't have what I need to be happy. There's something else that I'm missing. I'm lacking something. I need to go get it. You're still here too. Everybody's sticking around. This is great. Why don't you all come to Mayapur with us too? I want you all in the band.
I'm actually thinking about
You see, now we're talking. Zita, I don't know where you're going. You got to come with us too. Okay. To Vrindavan. Look at you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm inspired by Suri.
Okay. Very good. So the Rajaguna, when you get influenced by it, when you're in its presence, you tend to be influenced by its force, which makes one dissatisfied. I don't have what I need. And the Tamaguna is like the most problematic of all three. It makes one lazy, lethargic, and also destructive. And we don't have enough time to get into all of them. But this was crucial message. And Krishna begins to go through them and analyze different, the way that charity, is that in the 17th chapter? That's in the 17th chapter. But he describes different ones. And he says this. Let's go to, let's say text 5.
Of which chapter?
14. You're in 18 there. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes controlled by these modes. There are outside influences that are working their ways into our minds, altering them, our emotions, our clarity of discernment are being affected by these outside forces, is what it's saying. Right? Not aliens, not something like that, but like these modes. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness, contentment, you could say, and knowledge. It said that the knowledge is born in this mode, and we can see that has a lot to do with cultivating that maturing knowledge into wisdom, is the sattva guna. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruit of actions. Know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of the embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Some people are only good at destroying things. They're not very good at building things, you know. That's the mode of ignorance too, you know. Or destructive behavior, self-destructive or destructive in general. So again, we can't talk about this so much, but I want to draw your attention to something towards the end of this chapter. There's a nice, this chapter lays out the three modes in great detail. That's going to happen again in the 17th chapter and in the 18th chapter. There's going to be detailed comparison of the three modes. So we can understand it's a very important topic, and it's a really important part of jnana. And the better that we understand it, the better that we're going to be capable of cooperating with the metaphysical reality rather than being controlled by it. Okay, so let's go down to text 20. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, in other words, when I can move through this world not being controlled by the material energy, but I can be above it. Remember, back in chapter 7, Krishna said these three modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome. But that when one surrenders to me, they can easily cross beyond it. Right? So can we move through this world unaffected by them? When an embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free of birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar, even in this life. Then Arjuna asks a question. Oh, my dear Lord, he asks several questions. By which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? Good question.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time he asked a question like that, right? Remember back in the second chapter. Tell me about the symptoms of someone who's the sage of steady mind. Okay, so he's asking that here. And then the other question is, what is his behavior? And how does he transcend the modes? How do you do it? How do you do it? Good question. Okay, so now we're going to get the answer from Krishna. I'm going to start to read, and then I'm going to ask you a question. All right?
Okay.
Krishna says, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, or delusion when they are... This is the three modes, illumination, attachment, and delusion. Goodness, passion, ignorance. Hate here means like he's not averse to them when they are present, or long for them when they disappear. So he's got that detachment, right? Who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress. We've heard that kind of thing before, right? Who looks upon a lump of earth and a stone, a piece of gold with an equal eye. We've heard of that before.
Yeah, we do.
Who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable. Yes?
Yeah.
Who is steady, samadhara and samatvam. Who is steady, situated equally well in praise or blame, honor and dishonor. Who treats alike both friend and enemy. There's the Samadarshana. And who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Okay. What do we call that? I mean, we could call it several things, like as we've been discussing in our course so far.
Ooh, steady mind. Sage of steady.
That's a sage of steady mind on our thing with the blue dots. What huh? I don't think love was mentioned here.
Wisdom.
I'd say wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about if we were to look at the evolution in terms of God realization?
It's clarity.
No, in other words,
Paramatma.
this right here.
Yeah,
Paramatma.
Paramatma, yeah.
Paramatma? I'd say especially Brahman. Paramatma has to do with understanding that there's a controller behind it moving it all.
Yeah.
This is all about seeing the evenness, being even, being untouched by the material energy. I may be in the material world, but I've risen above it. I don't identify with my body, my mind. Therefore, I'm not rocked when someone insults me or praise or blame. I don't identify with this body and mind. So it doesn't, hot or cold, I'm not this body or mind. It doesn't matter. I'm eternal. This is Brahman realization. This is what Brahman realization looks like right here. Okay? This is all Brahman realization. You know, earth, stone, gold, that's all matter. I've risen above the pullings and pushings of matter, and I'm peaceful. That's Brahman realization.
Is it also jnana?
Yes, I mean, exactly. It's knowledge, but it's matured at this stage. So that knowledge, one is seeing the world through that knowledge. It's integrated into their vision and their perception and their response. So that's Brahman realization. Now, that gave us, and generally we think the Gyanis think this is it. You do this and you got it. Conceptions of love and love for God, that's below Brahman realization, they think. We say, no, this is within Bhagavan realization, right? Brahman is in the middle. And if you've got Bhagavan or Paramatma realization, you have Brahman realization. All of this you've got. If you begin to understand the Paramatma, that there is a divine intelligence that's directing everything. Everything that's happening in this world is not happening to me, it's happening for me. That consciousness, everything is within it, and it is within everything. That's Paramatma realization. And this is all included within that. You don't have Paramatma realization without knowing all this and realizing all of this.
Right.
And what to speak of Bhagavan realization, if you realize that there's a supreme being, a person, from which, who exists absorbed in pastimes of love, but who expands into the Paramatma, and who is, and how his relation to Brahman is going to come up next. So now, the question was, what symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior? We heard that all here, right? Now the next question is, how does he transcend the modes of material nature? You ready for the answer?
Yeah.
Now, actually, take this down a little bit so we don't see the answer. Now, a lot of people would say, a Jnana Yogi would say, an Advaita Vedantin would say, well, how... This is all about transcending form and transcending individuality, right? Because it's all the forms and all the individuality that causes all the conflict and all the pain. So if you want to reach this Brahman realization, you want to meditate on the Brahman. You want to meditate on that which is beyond the forms of this world. And so you meditate on the oneness, the eternal, the unchanging, like that. That would be a typical response. That would be a typical Jnana Yoga response. Does that make sense? You can find all of those kind of verses in the Upanishads. Meditate on the unchanging, right? Now, the Bhakti Yogis would say what about that statement? If we went to the Upanishads and it said, meditate on the unchanging, what would we say? What type of other level? But is it wrong? Did the Upanishads say something wrong when they said meditate on the unchanging? Let's get the microphones going around back here.
Ginger? You?
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't said it.
Yeah.
Say it.
Well, I would think that the Bhakti Yogas, they would say that there's another level after it, but like you have to encompass the wisdom and the knowledge to get to that next level.
Yes, everything you're saying is true. But there's a specific answer that I'm trying to click on, and maybe William has it.
Well, the unchanging is Krishna.
Thank you. We would say when it says the unchanging, that's Krishna. And if you don't believe it here, maybe you'll believe it when he tells you directly in the Bhagavad-gita. You see? It's saying meditate on just like the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras will say, look, what you have to do is settle your mind. The yogis, they like to settle them. Bhagavad-gita is going to say, still your mind on the super soul within yourself. But Patanjali is going to say, maybe you're not comfortable with that. You just settle the mind on any object, right? Still the mind by focusing on any object.
Right.
But if you're really more clued in, you'll focus it on the super soul. When you get to Bhagavad-gita, it's saying that the yogis, they focus on Krishna within themselves, or Paramatma. And then Krishna says, one who knows that the Paramatma and I are one, he says that as well. So we would say, yeah, when he says avyayam, in the Upanishads, meditate on the unchanging. Yes, you can meditate on the Brahman feature of the unchanging, but you're better off understanding that comes from Krishna, that is the energy of Krishna, and Krishna is unchanging. And they would say, no, it doesn't say anything about Krishna here. It says the unchanging. And then Krishna comes along, Bhagavad-gita says, I am that avyayam. And repeatedly, he's going to use that same language and say it. So meditate on me. But here in the Gita, he's being very direct about it. Now you would think, potentially, if you're a Vedantin of that ilk, of that bent, you might not be expecting the answer that Krishna is going to give. Arjuna said, how do I achieve this state of Brahman realization? Let's see what Krishna says. And please roll it up. One who engages in full devotion. Why don't we open this one up? Famous verse. Mam cha yo vyabhicharyena bhakti yogena sevate. Right? One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, sagunan samatityatan, they at once transcend the modes of material nature, brahma bhuyaya kalpate, and they come and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Krishna said, you meditate on me, you serve me through bhakti yoga, and you achieve Brahman realization. But why would you worship this form if you want to achieve this kind of oneness? You understand? Why? It seems like you're going backwards. If you want this stillness, this peace, this oneness, this evenness, why meditate on Krishna running around the forest with the gopis? Why read about Krishna, killing this demon and running around having fun with his friends? Those seems like the activities of the material realm. Those seem like they're full of form and lacking the oneness. You understand? So why meditating on you, Krishna, do I achieve Brahman realization? Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Hey, let's see the answer.
Okay.
Next verse. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. Why don't we open this one up? Brahmano he pratishta aham. The impersonal Brahma Jyoti, he certainly pratishta, the resting place, the foundation of it. Aham, I am. It's coming from me. When you meditate on me, you're meditating on Brahman, because Brahman is within me. I'm the support of that Brahman. If you connect with me, you've connected with Brahman, Paramama, and Bhagavan all in one. Because you've got the whole ring, the whole circle. It's all within that. So just come to me, and you'll get Brahman realization, right? So just by here the topic is, how can I transcend or make the best, let's say, out of the metaphysical reality? How can I recognize my own position as the self or the Atma being beyond the material energy and achieve this peace and this feeling of eternality, this Brahman realization? Meditate on Krishna, because when you got Krishna, everything's included in it. It's like kind of saying, like, how can I get $10 by meditating on $100? Or how can I get $10 when I go out and get $100? You've got $10 within the $100, right? And more. So just like $10 is within a $100 bill, so Brahman realization is within Bhagavan realization or within bhakti. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, interesting idea, yes? For a lot of Vedantins, this could potentially be like a wake-up call, like, oh, I see. Very interesting, right? Okay, any questions about that? Okay, it may be good that we don't have questions. 15th chapter, ready? Yes. So now we heard about the material energy, specifically the modes of material nature. And we also heard about the Brahman. In this next one, the next chapter, we get a lot about Paramatma, right? How Krishna is behind everything. And let's open that up. And I think I'm going to try to read this whole chapter. It opens up with, maybe I won't read it all, but I'll summarize it. It opens up with this description of the upside down banyan tree, that this material world is a reflection of the spiritual realm. We're moving around it, trying to enjoy the tastes, the fruits of that tree, you could say. And he says, but one must free themselves from the entanglement of this reflection with what? The weapon of what?
Detachment.
Detachment. And with that weapon, you cut down the illusory tree. And then what do? Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, no one ever returns. And there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Right? He says the Adi Purusha, the original person. You surrender to the person. Right? The Jnana yogis are thinking, once you cut yourself free with detachment, there's no more person. Right? No, he's saying no. When you're finally free of the entanglement of the material world, then you see the original person, and you surrender to them. Right? From whom everything has extended from time immemorial. Okay, let's keep rolling. Text 5. And here's what you need to be able to see with this detached vision. He's going to start to talk about the vision of the person who's transcended these modes. He's saying that if you're free from false prestige, illusion, false association, you understand the eternal, you're done with material lust, freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and unbewildered, and you know how to surrender to the Supreme Person. This is a lot of what goes into maturing knowledge into wisdom, and then ultimately into love. Right? He's talking about his supreme abode. If to reach that eternal kingdom, it's illuminated. It's not illuminated by the sun or the moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach and never return to this material world. But the living entities in this material world, they're my eternal fragmental parts. This is a very strong statement about the metaphysical reality. That all the jivas, they're part of Krishna, but they're eternally fragmental. In other words, they have their individuality eternally. Really important factor. And very debated in Vedanta. But here's a very clear statement. Right? Due to conditioned life, due to all the programming that they're exposed to here, they're struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. That's what's going on, right? Isn't it? We're all trying to satisfy our senses, satisfy our mind, but we struggle so much with our mind, and we're happy one day and depressed the next, and going through all different kind of mental loops and all of that, because we're not cooperating with the metaphysical reality. We haven't found our place in it. Okay. The living entities in the material world, they carry their different conceptions of life from one body to another as the air carries aromas. Thus he takes one kind of body and quits it to take another. When the soul leaves the body, it takes this subtle body with it, just like an aroma, right? You take your mind with you, and then you enter into the next body. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, attains a certain type of eye, a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped around the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. When we're born as a human, we get this nose, right? When you're born as a dog, that thing is powerful. It's like way, it's a different nose, right? It's attracted to other smells, right? And your eyes are attracted. The dog, its eyes want to see something else, than the human wants to see. It wants to taste other things. And you get a certain set of senses, and you go out and try to enjoy the world by satisfying those senses. Right? He's saying that the people that are above the modes of material nature, they're seeing all this going on. They can see that this person's taking a birth like this because of their past life. I'm in this condition because of how I lived in the past. If I continue to live like this, I'll take birth like this. If that person continues like that, they're going to take birth. I see the whole thing. I have this conviction, and it's very clear in my mind that all this really makes sense. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature, but one whose eyes are trained in knowledge, jnana chakshusha, eyes of knowledge, they can see all this. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly, but those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. So some people just can't get it. You tell them about reincarnation, it's get out of here, it's stupid. You die, and it's over. They don't have a lot of substance to back it up. but they're really convicted. They have that conviction very strong, you know. But it's saying that those that have the eyes and knowledge, they can see it all. They really understand what's happening. Now, okay, let's roll up to the top. So we can, someone with the eyes of knowledge, they can see. I see we're all transmigrating through these different bodies, taking our minds with us, developing the next body as we're in this one, and then taking on that one. We're all moving around, trying to enjoy the senses. We're all part of the whole, part of the supreme, but eternally individual and struggling in this world. But we need to understand what's behind it. This was called the most confidential knowledge earlier. That behind the workings of all of this, it's not random. It's not just some explosion of gases in empty space. It's all well designed and well regulated and well maintained. And it's all maintained by Krishna, ultimately. You could say by his Paramama, but you could say by him. The name of this chapter is Purushottama Yoga.
Oh, yeah.
To understand that there's the Purushottama, that there is the supreme person behind it all. Right? So he's going to say, that's me. And try to see this. Try to see me again. All of these, especially the middle 6 chapters, is all about always seeing Krishna everywhere. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I mean, what else is your explanation for how they stay in orbit? Why do these planets float in the air? Nobody can say it. Krishna's saying, I'm telling you, I'm the one, I'm holding it up. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. So just to have heat and light and food, Krishna is necessary, even to digest the food. I am the fire of digestion in all bodies of all living entities. And I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuffs. This kind of Ayurvedic kind of talk. But he's saying, the most basic things that you do, see that I'm behind it. Even your eating. When you eat, do you digest the food? It just happens. How is it happening? Is it just random? It just somehow happened? No. There's a designer behind it. There's someone that's making it and regulating it and maintaining it. That's me. I'm seated in everyone. This is a famous verse. This may be the most quoted verse by Prabhupada, actually. I'm seated in everyone's heart. Why don't we open this one up? Sarvasya chaham hridisani vishto. I'm seated in everyone's heart. Mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. And from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. If we want to forget, he's going to help us forget. If we need to be reminded, he's going to remind us. He's in there, and according to our desires, he's triggering us and saying, go for that, go for that. If that's what you want, here, it's right over here. Sometimes we talk about the little baby turtles, right? It cracks open on the beach. And when it comes out of the shell, what does it do? It starts running. Why? How does it understand that these birds are going to attack me if I'm not good at it? How does it know? There's no mother there saying, come on, come on, come on.
Well, Krishna.
It's Krishna right in the heart. Go, 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 run, run. So he's knowledge, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness come from him. This is very important. Vedais chasar ver. By all, not just the Vedas, and the Vedas include the Upanishads, not just some of them. Vedais chasar ver. By all the Vedas, what is to be known? Vedais chasar ver aham eva. Myself, certainly, Vedyo is to be known. What is the subject of all the Vedas? What does their knowledge lead to? It's to know him. By all the Vedas, you read them all, where is it meant to go? To the impersonal Brahman? It's meant to go to me. By all, what are you supposed to know through these books? You're supposed to know me. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta through Vyas, who is a Shaktavesha avatar, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Okay. Powerful statement. So he's not only the sun, the moon, the power of digestion, the God in the heart, but he's the subject of knowledge of all the Vedas, of Vedanta. Okay, now let's jump ahead a bit and go to say, text 18. Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas. Remember, I've been telling you all along that when it's saying Avyam is talking about Krishna, he's saying it right here, right? It's me that's celebrated in the Vedas. I'm celebrated in the Vedas as the supreme person, the Purushottama, right? The Purushottama. Now listen to this, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is like mic drop time. Boom. Right? This is where Krishna, it's real Vedanta mic drop time. Big time. He says, whoever knows me as the Purushottama, as the supreme person, without doubting, is the knower of everything. What does he mean? It means you know Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. You know the whole thing. You may know Brahman and not know Paramatma and not know Bhagavan. But if you know Bhagavan, you know everything. Because everything is included within him. If you know Krishna, there's nothing that you don't know. He's not saying that there's not any trivial piece of knowledge that you don't know. But he's saying you have the complete understanding of the metaphysical reality. If you only know Brahman, you only know part of the metaphysical reality. But if you know Krishna, you know the complete metaphysical reality. You know who's behind the whole thing, how he enters into the material realm, how he supports the Brahman. You know the whole thing. And you realize, and if you realize Brahman, Bhagavan, you realize Brahman, you realize Paramatma. You have all that peace of mind, all that steadiness, all that feeling of eternality. You move through this world with the complete understanding of how Paramatma is moving everything in this world, and you're hearing him talk in your own heart, right? And then ultimately you know Krishna as the person, right? Krishna as the loving individual, and the most beautiful and powerful and wonderful devotional sentiments arise in your heart. When you know Krishna, you know everything. So he says, whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of God without doubting is the knower of everything. And then why don't we open this one up? Sasarva vid, knowing everything. Bhajati mam, they worship me. Sarva bhavena, Bharata, Arjuna. Sarva bhavena. Sarva means all, full. Bhavena, fulfilling, or really with full love, with a heart full of love. Knowing me thus as the Supreme Person, they know everything and they serve me with a heart full of love. Okay? It's not the first time he said, in the 10th chapter, he said more or less the same thing, did he not? He said that Sarvasya, what was it? Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, everything comes from me, the wise who know this perfectly serve me. Here he's saying it again in beautiful language, the Sarva Bhavena, with a heart full of love. Then now they know everything. Now this little nugget of knowledge he shared here, right? I'm the Supreme Person. If you know that, you know everything. If you know that, knowing everything, you serve me with a heart full of love. Next verse. And why don't you open it up? Yeah, just go there. Iti guya tamam shastra. Guya means, secret, mystery, secret. Here we have confidential. Guya tamam means the most confidential. Shastram, the scriptures, the Vedanta, all the sacred text. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures. This is the most confidential part of Vedanta. What? Knowing me as the Supreme Person behind everything, making everything work, the light of the sun in the heart of every living being, etc., etc. Knowing that that's Krishna, the Supreme Person, and therefore knowing everything, and therefore serving Krishna with a heart full of love. That is the most confidential part of the Vedas. mic drop, boom. This he's being so explicit here, right? How can a Vedanta not take note of this? You really have to be trying hard not to see it, right? That's the mata parataram nanya. There's no truth superior to me, right? He's saying these things over and over and over again in the Bhagavad Gita. You see, the other texts, they're cryptic. The Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutra, they're very cryptic. So they leave themselves open to wide ranges of interpretation. When the impersonalists come to the Bhagavad Gita, it's a text that's not like that at all, but they treat it as if it is. They treat it as if these verses can just be seen any way that you want to see them. But these verses are real clear, real specific, there's no ambiguous language here. And it's repeated. He's saying these things incessantly, again and again and again. And this is a real heavy one right here at the end of the 15th chapter, right? So this is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. All right, 15th chapter, nice chapter. 16th chapter, how are we doing on time? 4:20 or something? Is that right? Huh? Okay. 16th chapter, I'm not going to say anything about, except this. I had some images that we could open up. Yeah, go to this, yeah, right there. The divine and demoniac natures, the Daivi and the Asuri. It's as simple as this. The divine people, they're working in harmony with the metaphysical reality. They're happy to. I'm happy with the fact that there is this Purushottama. I'm happy with the fact that there's a supreme being. I'm happy to cooperate with his metaphysical reality that he's created. I'm happy to be his servant. I'm happy to love him and to feel his love. I'm perfectly happy with that picture, and I'm enthusiastic to cooperate with that. And the Asuri mentality, the demonic mentalities, they're dissonant with the metaphysical reality. They can't get with it. They can't work in harmony with it. They're uncomfortable with it. They refuse to cooperate with it. And it causes pain for themselves and for others. It's pretty much as simple as that. And so when you read the 16th chapter, it goes into depth. Maybe we just read, maybe you pop it open to text 16:8. Asatyam apratishtam anishvaram. Asatyam, they say that this world isn't true. Apratishtam, it has no foundation. Anishvaram, there's no controller behind it. Isn't that what our scientists tell us? It was just an explosion in space, right? There is no person behind it. Forget that. And without that, there's no morality. There's no fundamental, we can make up the morality. The morality is whatever we decide it's going to be, right? We're going to make up our own metaphysical reality, right? That's the demoniac idea, right? And it leads to so much trouble, right? Okay. Let's just leave chapter 16 right there. Is that okay? Any questions about chapter 16 or 15 for that matter?
So the divine and demoniac.
Just a moment.
So the divine and the demoniac, those are just two different kinds of people?
Two mindsets, you could say. And people will adopt one or the other, or they might be somewhere in between.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We good? Any other thoughts or questions? Okay, we hit that quick, but I'm just trying to get right to the essence of it. Yeah. Okay. Chapter 17 is again a whole analysis of the three modes of material nature. It's going to take the three modes of material nature and examine different types of practice through it. What does it look like if someone doesn't surrender to you, Krishna? And it's going to be described like sacrifice in the three different modes, austerity in the three different modes, penance in the three different modes, charity in the three different modes. And essentially what it is like when something's done with, there's going to be kind of a repetitive kind of theme going on there. When something's done in the mode of goodness, it's done with detachment. I do it expecting nothing in return. When something's done in the mode of passion, it's done with the idea that I'm getting something back for this. And when something's done in the mode of ignorance, it's done in a foolish way that leads to just destruction. It just creates problems like that. And you get that. It goes through each of these: sacrifice, austerity, penance, charity. It goes through all of them and describes how they play out. But that is the format. Should I say that one more time? Whether you're doing austerity, penance, charity, sacrifice, if you're doing it in the mode of goodness, you do it without expecting anything in return for it. Because it's the right thing to do. And you're satisfied. Because you're in the mode of goodness, you're already satisfied. So, okay, I'm cooperating with the metaphysical reality. I'm going to give in charity. That's what I meant to do. And what do you want to get back for it? I don't need to get anything back for it. I'm satisfied. Right? I'm doing it because it's right and because I'm happy to cooperate with the metaphysical reality. If you're in the mode of passion, you want to get something out of the metaphysical reality for yourself. You're not satisfied. So I give charity, but I want to see that I get famous for it. Right? I get charity, I want my big tax write-off, and at the end of the year, I want to get this and that, and I expect to be recognized for it. And then if you're like in the mode of ignorance, it's like you give charity to like the completely wrong place, to the really wrong people, and it just creates more problems in the world. Something like that. It just done in ignorance like that. So whether it's austerity, whether it's penance, they each play out with those patterns. Expecting nothing, wanting something, or just in a state of delusion and confusion. That's the 17th chapter. And at the end, it talks about this phrase, Om Tat Sat.
Oh, yeah.
That it's a way of saying everything is meant for the pleasure of that eternal being that's beyond everything. And so whatever we do, we should do it from that mode of goodness platform or the Sudasattva platform, where we not only do it in the mode of goodness, but we do it for the pleasure of the Supreme. Whatever we do it. And in doing it, we chant Om Tat Sat and make it an offering like that. All right, that's 17th chapter.
What's the chapter called?
Divisions of faith.
That's right.
We're dividing them up according to the three modes of material nature. Vaishnavananda.
Very quick.
Thank you. About the Dharma, the Sanatana Dharma, the eternal Dharma, can we say that this division, it's like those who are supporting the Dharma and those who are not supporting the Dharma, so working against, because you are speaking about metaphysical realm, but those people who are acting in harmony with metaphysical realm also are acting to support the Dharma.
Yes. Sattva guna, and dharma. What is the motive? What is the guna for creation?
Rajas,
And what is the guna for destruction?
Tamas,
And the mode of goodness, what is it for?
Sattva,
Yeah. And what is it? Maintenance.
maintains.
Maintains, right? And what is one definition of dharma is that which maintains, right? Dharma upholds things. If we have a society where everyone's practicing dharma, the society holds together. Once we stop practicing dharma, it starts to fall apart.
Okay.
And so, yes, you could, dharma and sattva are closely related.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we've come to the 18th chapter.
We've done it.
Not yet.
We're doing it.
What time is it again? Okay, so this chapter, I'm just going to speak about it, and then we're going to read the end of it. Okay. This chapter, I think it's entitled in Prabhupada's translation, not the contents of the Gita summarized. That's the second chapter. What is it again? Is it up there?
Conclusion of the Gita?
Oh, the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Okay. It's going to revisit all the themes of the whole Gita. whether Arjuna should fight or not, whether one should act in the world or renounce action. We're going to revisit that, but somehow in a fresh way. You're going to hear it goes through that. It goes through the modes of material nature and analyzing renunciation. We analyzed charity and austerity and penance, etc. in the 17th chapter. It's going to analyze renunciation through that 3 modes model. And Arjuna is going to be encouraged to do your duty, to do it informed with knowledge, to renounce, not externally, but to renounce internally. That becomes very clear. And then there's a picture shown of someone who's achieved this Brahmabhuta stage again and how they let go of everything through the renunciation. But then Krishna begins to say, but you can do all that through bhakti, right? And through bhakti, you can know him. So you get some really great verses there. But what I want to do now is jump up to text 59, maybe 58 or so. Let's keep going back. Okay, let's go to 51 through 53. It was saying through renunciation one can achieve this kind of result. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred, one who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, controls his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance, and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. Right? It's a summary of so much as what has been said. But you can achieve that just by turning to me, Arjuna. That's what he's going to say now. One who is transcendently situated once realizes the Supreme Brahman becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. It's an indication that achieving Brahman realization is not the end, but it's the fertile ground through which one could approach Krishna. Earlier we heard Bahunam Janmana Ante Gyanavanmam Prapadyante. When one fully obtains knowledge, they surrender unto me. So it's a repetition of that same message in a new way now, right? And then one can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personality Godhead, this Bhagavan, this full feature, only by devotional service. You might understand Brahman through renunciation, but you can understand Krishna only through bhakti, right? The other paths will not get you there. It doesn't matter how austere you are. It doesn't matter how renounced you are. Krishna's not moved by that. He's only moved by love. It's the only path that will take you the whole way to him. That clear? This is said here very clearly and repetitively in the Gita. One can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personality of God, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Okay, let's roll on up. Though engaged in Arjuna, you can fight this battle and achieve that state of consciousness. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. I get involved in their life, right? They don't have to be a perfect, super austere, renounced yogi. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and get involved. In all activities, just depend upon me. Now, from this point on, Krishna's speaking to Arjuna like a friend. Just hear his voice in this and hear his heart in this. He's saying, come on, Arjuna. You know, sometimes like a parent is telling to the kid, come on, you can do this. I'm here for you. You can jump into the pool. I'm going to catch you. It's going to be okay. So he's speaking to Arjuna like that, right? In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me, right? Do your duty. Do it always thinking of me. I'm going to protect you. Don't worry. Now this verse, so good. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. Right? Let's open this one up. Much chitta, with your consciousness on me, sarva durgani, all of the difficult things. Mat prasadat, by my mercy, tarishyasi, you'll cross over it. Now note, he doesn't say that there won't be any obstacles. But he says, you're going to cross over them all, and I'm going to be right there to help you. I'm going to carry you through all of this, right? And then, but if you don't, if you try to ignore the metaphysical reality and turn your back to me, then what happens? If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Okay, strong contrast here and strong ending message. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. He's not saying, I'm going to do something to you if you don't listen to me. He's saying, if you don't listen to me, you're going to get lost in this material energy, right? I know you, and I know your nature and your conditioning, and you're a warrior. Work with it and align it with the metaphysical reality and make an offering of it and do it always thinking of me. And then I'm going to carry you right through everything. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Now listen to this. Let's roll it on up. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Now we heard earlier that he said, I'm in everyone's heart. From me come knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. If you want to forget, then he's going to direct you from within how to forget, even how to forget him, if that's what you want, right? If you say, I want to come back, then he's going to direct you how to come back. So now he's saying, I'm in everyone's heart. I'm directing everyone. Now surrender to me in your heart, right? Surrender to me in your heart, and I'll direct you right back to me, right? The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. O sign of heart, surrender unto him utterly. Just fully. Don't hold back. God's there in your heart. What you want, I want, right? I trust you. Surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Everything that you can achieve in Vedanta will be achieved by surrendering to God in your heart. Right? Thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. Right? I'm not going to force you to do anything here, Arjuna. Just please carefully listen to all that I've shared with you. Right? But he still can't help it. You know, because he loves him so much, he has to say a little bit more. Because you're my dear friend, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction. Right? Not the lower instructions that you'll find in other texts. This is the supreme instruction. Surrender to me. What is that supreme instruction? We're going to hear it again. It was the instruction that we found right in the middle of the Gita. Now he's repeating it at the end. Because you're my dear friend, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction, this most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. And what's that instruction? Manmana bhava madbhakto. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you're my very dear friend. It's mic drop again and again and again. He's just making it abundantly clear the path that's being recommended and all the advantages and how it is the highest teachings and the most confidential teachings of the Vedanta. And then finally, one last thing. Maybe all this has been confusing. Maybe I've been talking about Ashtanga Yoga and Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. I've been talking about pranayama and pratyahara, and I've been talking about all the Vedic rituals and all of this stuff. He's validated it all in the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe this, by some chance, even though he's been so emphatic, Arjuna might think, so should I go practice pranayama now? Do I have to go, should I go back and do what you're saying in the 6th chapter and go off alone into the forest? Is that what I'm supposed to do? And here he says, although he's validated all these paths or all these dharmas, now he says, abandon all varieties of dharma and just surrender unto me. All these paths and all these ideas and all these techniques and all these practices, they are valid. They do work, but simplify the whole thing, because they're all meant to ultimately come to me. They're just doing it in indirect ways. Just come directly to me. And if you come directly to me, you've covered everything. There's absolutely nothing to worry. You're worried that if you don't cover all the bases, that you'll get some bad karma, particularly because you're fighting this battle. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Right? There's nothing to fear. Just surrender to me. Make one move, one direct move, and through that you cover everything. That's the final message of Krishna in the Gita, right there. Sarva dharma parityaja. It's a powerful statement. If you just take it, just look at the language. Sarva, all, dharma, all dharmas, parityaja. Abandon them all. Mam ekam, and do one thing, turn to me. Mam ekam sharanam, come to me for shelter, right? That's the only thing you have to do. He boiled all the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita into one simple instruction, or you could say two, one negative and one positive. Forget about everything else, just surrender unto me. Talk about mic drop. It's like, it's absolutely complete and emphatic. Okay, now where's Arjuna at? Right? Is he confused? Is he still like he was at the beginning? Was he crying? Can he not pick up his bow again? 67 we should be at. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. They just won't get it. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. So he's glorifying all the knowledge that he shared. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. This metaphysical reality that people are resisting and suffering because of it, if someone can help someone realign with it and realign with him, he's saying that makes them most dear to me. Like that. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. That's congratulations to all of you. That's what you've been doing. We've been doing together. And one who listens with faith and without envy, they become free from all sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Ready? Yeah, let's scroll it on up. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. Okay. What a relief, huh? Yeah. And here is my universal form. I realize I am one, I am God. No, that's not what he says, right? My illusion is now gone. So now we're going to hear, this is Vedanta. What is this? What is the state? What does it look like when you achieve the state beyond illusion, right? According to them, there's no longer any duality whatsoever, right? I have regained my memory by your mercy, and now, firm and free from doubt, I am prepared to act according to your instructions. I'm your servant. That's what he's realized, right? That's how he's prepared to connect. I'm your servant. Sanjaya, now we're back to Sanjaya. Sanjaya. We did hear from Sanjaya, we skipped over it. But do you know when he spoke up earlier? Yeah, during the Universal Forum. Yeah, during the Universal Forum, he's like, whoa. and you know, and Dhritarashtra is sitting there saying, oh my God, Krishna just revealed his Universal Form. He's like everything. Oh, great. He's chewing my sons up right now, you know. And, but Sanjay just can't help it. Sanjay is flying high right now. Even if Dhritarashtra, who he's his servant and he's trying to help sincerely, but hear how he speaks, having heard this conversation, having witnessed this conversation. Sanjay said, thus I have heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. And so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. I got goosebumps. I'm like, God, this is the greatest conversation I ever heard. All the truths were spoken. It was all clarified. It was clear as a bell. The path out of material suffering was just made perfectly clear and simple. It's so inspiring. And look at Arjuna. He was so confused before, and now he's back. And this is incredible. By the mercy of Vyas, who's his guru, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. It was like the greatest Vedanta presentation and witnessing it taking place between the greatest people, you know? O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. O king, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, he's seeing the form of Lord Krishna. O king, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. It doesn't get boring or tired or dissatisfying. He's tasting it. You can see just by hearing. He wasn't even asking the questions. He wasn't even there. But just by hearing this conversation, his own spiritual, there's a spiritual awakening within him where he's tasting the joy and the beauty of bhakti yoga, and witnessing it in Arjuna and feeling it himself. And it is so exciting and satisfying. He's flying super high right now. Right? Wherever there's Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there's Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, and extraordinary power and morality. That is my opinion. That's the end of the Bhagavad-gita. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki. Bhagavad-gita ki. So nice. That's Srila Prabhupada ki. So that's it, you know. We spent some good time together. Spent about, I guess it would be about 20 hours. We spent about 20 hours studying the Bhagavad-gita together. And hopefully we all understand it a bit more, have been inspired by it a bit more. Of course, we can see that 20 hours is not enough time. More like a year, you know. That's really like what you need a good year. A couple hours a day for a year or something like that would be ideal. That's the way people would study it in the past. You live in an ashram, and under a teacher, go through it all step by step. But again, I'll just repeat what I really wanted to emphasize and what I hope may have resonated with all of you, is that our life is short. It's zipping right by. We may really be tuned into that. We may not be tuned into that. All of us are probably not quite well enough tuned into that. And Krishna's showing us something, showing us what we could be. He's showing us that we could become purified by this knowledge, transformed by this knowledge, and let go of everything that's unimportant and achieve a state of consciousness that rare people achieve, that people rarely achieve, right? The state where you're seeing the world through this knowledge. You're not disturbed by the things that other people are disturbed by. You're not confused or bewildered by it. You're not drawn into it, and therefore you're in this world and you're not entangling yourselves through your actions. You can be dutiful and responsible, well-informed about the nature of the metaphysical reality, operating harmoniously with it as you carry out your responsibilities in this world. And through that, you're maturing what you know into this wisdom. And from that platform, you're beyond all of the petty stuff that people struggle with. And that gives you great peace of mind. And that peace of mind is allowing you to see things that others don't see. You're seeing Krishna everywhere. You were missing it before. Everywhere you turned, you never saw Krishna. Now everywhere you turn, you can't help but see Krishna. He is within the heart of myself. He is within the heart of every living being. He is within every atom. Everything is being orchestrated by his will. I see it. I can't mistake it. It has me appreciating, even loving every living being in the world, feeling some genuine affection for everyone. It has me beyond the judgments that I used to put forward. I've let all of that go. Nothing can shake me from this. People can say this or that about me. Even I can go through some really rough external circumstances and I can remain unshaken by it. And feeling this feeling, I feel like I've gained the most important thing in life that I can gain. And that deep state of peace of mind has given me the ability to meditate, to absorb my mind in Krishna's name, in his form, in his qualities, in his pastimes. And now I have something to relish in life that's way more relishable than anything I could have imagined, right? I thought it was food, I thought it was sex, I thought it was sleeping, I thought it was, no. This, it really becomes the joy. Much jata mudgata prana bodhiyanta parasparam katayantas chaman nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. I get together with Krishna's devotees and we speak about him. And together we inspire one another, relishing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. We derive great joy and great satisfaction through hearing this. And that absorption is what has this powerful transformational effect that was largely inaccessible to me before. But through this, through my efforts, and especially through Krishna's grace, then from that platform of absorption, this absorption in chanting that name, chanting it in japa chanting and in kirtan especially, that something will awaken in me, that there's something down there all along, this siddha rupa, this eternal form, this siddha deha, this eternal service that is waiting in me to wake up. That there's some special love that I have forgotten that God has for me, that is just lying dormant, and that'll be awakened within my heart. And the Bhagavad-gita is kind of showing the way, right? Always thinking of him with great love within our own heart, with great affection, that's available to all of us. So life is short. We need to make sure that we're not neglectful of really setting this as our goal, really very clearly. And on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, am I moving towards that goal? Am I conscious of that goal? Am I being forgetful of that goal? Am I praying for that goal? Am I begging to achieve that goal, all the time? That's what we're being called to do. And we can do it. And Krishna's giving that promise. Don't worry, right? I'm here for you. I'm just waiting for you. I'm just waiting to see that that's what you want, right? We have to communicate it, We have to communicate. We have to live it. And it's all right there in the Gita. If we keep reading this book, again, read it daily, one chapter a day or so, and it'll stay alive in you. Memorize some of the shlokas. See them as special treasures that you keep, in the treasure box of your own heart. It'll be the greatest treasure you have in your life. Bhagavad-gita. I really appreciate all of you. You've made it a joy to do this with, to be with people that really sincerely understand how valuable this is. That's a real blessing for me. So it's been a joy spending this time with you. We're not exactly breaking up right now. We got a couple more days here, and we got some more time in Mumbai with most of you, and some of you will come to Mayapur as well. But in any case, I believe I said in the beginning that I like to make friends this way, and I feel like I've made friends with you. And please stay in touch. Like you can, the social media ways you can connect with me, or in other ways you can reach out. Study the Gita if you have questions, if you want to know more. You can join this Gita pop-up study that I have. It's a WhatsApp, not group, channel, WhatsApp channel. If you'd like to join that, we can connect you to that. And let us stay connected through the Bhagavad Gita for the rest of our lives. Thank you all so very much. Hari Om Tat Sat Hari Om.